Hey guys, what's up? So I got picked for jury duty, which is why my last video, which I took down for a while, is back up because now there's no danger in that being up there because I got picked. So clearly I didn't try to weasel out of it, and I didn't try to do that. I did make a request to be deferred to a different time just because of work, but they weren't having that at all. So the jury duty selection process, if it's taught me anything, it's that buying a laptop will be a decision you are very happy that you made, because oh my god, if I had not had my laptop over these last 2 days, I would have gone crazy. Like, there were people who showed up, didn't bring a book, didn't bring a magazine. One person actually asked to borrow my laptop. I was like, no. I spent the entire rest of day one on surfthechannel.com watching the end of season 3 of Weeds and all of season 4 with my whole day because they didn't call me once. I'm surprised at what a clunky, slow process the jury duty selection actually is. Like, I would have thought it would have been a smoother system than that, you know? This is what it's like, just so that people who don't know will know. Now, I'm not talking about the jury duty part, because I haven't done that yet. But the selection process is what takes the most time. If you're in New York, you can expect to spend at least 2 days waiting to see if you've been selected. Just because you didn't get selected on day 1 doesn't mean you're not going to get selected on day 2. And I, by the way, suggest to get there early and find a seat next to a wall outlet so you can plug in your laptop or your DVD player or whatever you're going to use to occupy your time. Because that's what I did. I got there early and I scanned the room and I zoomed in. Unfortunately, it was against a wall where there were no seats, so my ass just got ghetto and I grabbed a bunch of seats and drug an entire row against the back wall. Nobody was there yet, so I just did it and sat down and plugged my shit right in, and I was like, yep, this is my seat, I expected to get into a few fights about it, but nobody said anything to me. So everybody gets there, and there's a quick little weeding out process, because there's usually people who are in the wrong room or people who need to be redirected because maybe they don't speak English so well, so they need to go somewhere else, or people who have an issue with why they can't serve, and then you go somewhere else to talk about that. And by the way, just because you go report why you can't serve doesn't mean you won't get sent right back and told, nope, you have to go. Because I even brought a letter from work and everything, and it just, they were like, ha! I was really annoyed at the beginning of day 1 because I felt like the guy who was in charge, the county clerk or whatever his position was, he was talking to all of us like we were idiots. He was very condescending. We are grown men and women. You don't need to talk to us like we're fools. Well, later on in the day, I began to realize that a lot of grown women and men are fools. There's a lot of stupid people out there. I don't understand. How are there signs all over the place that say turn off your cell phones? And the guy who's running the show says several times, turn off your cell phones. And the people around you pull out their phones and put them on silent, and you don't do it. I don't understand. How does that work? You're not some kid. You're a grown-ass man. Put it together. Now I understand why the guy was so condescending, because there's a lot of people, I'm sure he's sick of dealing with this every day. Anyway, so they told us to come back today. We all came back, and they do a roll call, and I settled in, I found my spot, I brought snacks, and then they called my name. And I was like, oh man. What they do is they pick 20 people's names at random and send them into a room where they meet with 2 lawyers to tell you a little bit about the case that they're working on. And then you fill out these questionnaires, and then they kind of talk to you about your answers that you put, and then they ask you specific questions. Nothing that's too in-depth, but like, have you or anyone close to you ever been the victim of a crime or ever been sued, or that kind of stuff. And if you have an answer that might raise a red flag for them, then they ask you more questions. I had an answer that I thought would kind of maybe put me as a risky juror to have. So I didn't think they were gonna pick me, and I was just being honest with my answer. And then this woman spoke up and goes, "I just want to say that I have a real problem awarding money to people because I feel like people are too eager to sue in this country. Everyone's just like lawsuit happy, and I will probably have an issue giving money or monetary compensation." Well, that was the smartest thing that anyone could have said, because the minute she said that, they crossed her right off the list. Everyone in the room saw that, her little trick worked. So then all of a sudden people were like, oh yeah, I agree with her. And the lawyers just had to check people off the lists. I didn't do that. I don't know where the nobility kicked up in me from, but I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do this. This is stupid. It's obvious that you guys are just saying this to get out of this, I don't know. So they did end up selecting me, and I have to say, I think they only picked me because I was in the small group of leftover people who didn't jump on that bandwagon. So, whatever. So I'm serving. I am serving, and I am looking forward to it. But I did learn some interesting things. If you are picked to serve on jury duty, your job cannot penalize you for it. They have to pay you. They can't force you to take the time that you spent on jury duty as vacation time. They also can't make you work overtime to make up the time you missed. Those are illegal things. Now, they can alter your schedule to accommodate jury duty. So if you usually work mornings, you might have to continue working right until it's time to leave and go to court, or after court go to work and finish your shift. Like that, they are allowed to do, your employer. But the court will give you a pamphlet letting you know what the rights are that you have, what your employer's rights and commitments are. So yeah, this has been an informative process. It's made me very happy that I have a laptop and that they had Wi-Fi at the courthouse. But yeah, ready to serve. Groovy!